And my name is Maynard. I'm her oldest sister. And, yeah, out of 13, so.
Okay, could you just explain the situation for us and tell us a little bit about your sister, please?
The situation, like what happened as far as her death.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was Friday night, before she had left out, she called me and said she was going on a date with a young man. She sent us pictures and stuff, but she said his name was Elijah. I guess that's what he had told her. And she said that I'm going to come over tomorrow and I'm going to come look at your new house and me and my daughter going to come by. I said, okay, that's fine. So we hung up the phone, and Saturday came by. She, came around and she never called like she normally do or send a text message or nothing. So I'm still waiting. Her daughter was like, hey, Auntie, have you heard from Mom? She was supposed to call me. She didn't call me. So we were still waiting around, still hearing nothing. So Sunday came. I was like, well, this is not like Asia, because she normally going to pop up, call, hey, I'm about to come over. It was none of that. So Sunday, I had called the police and did a missing person report. And she said that she would send officers out to do the report. And the officers came out. Well, it was just one officer. He came out, and he was like, well, can you explain the situation? I was like, well, my sister we ain't heard from her since Friday night, and she's not home. She hasn't been answering the phone or nothing. So he was like, well, typically, we have to allow adults to be adults, adults go out and they have fun and kick it. I was like, well, I understand what you're saying, but they're not going to go as far as not answering the phone in this daylight. It's like 3 o'clock in the evening. No. I get that if you go party, you have hangovers and stuff like that, but you're not going to go as far as not answering your daughter's call or your mom call or your sister's call,
Oh, your brothers.
Exactly. So he was like, well, he was like uncertain. He really didn't want to do it because he was just like, I'm not for sure, because when I sent officers over there, they was questioning, I guess, the neighbors. And he said the neighbors was like, yeah, we seen Asia Saturday, and yeah, she was running errands. I'm like, well, how do they know all that? I said, so y'all gonna listen to them or y'all gonna listen to me? I'm pretty sure they don't know her like I know her. And he was like, well, I'm just, I just want to rule everything out. Did you call her job? And did you make sure she's not at none of the hospitals? And so I called all the hospitals. She wasn't at none of the hospitals. I know she wasn't at her job because she don't have to be at work until 1 o'clock a.m. So I knew she wasn't at her job. So he's like, and then once you call the hospitals and the job, I'm going to check the database to make sure she's not in jail because she could have been drinking or could have got pulled over. And I was like, okay. So he sat in his car, and I guess he ran the database. He didn't leave or nothing. I went in the house and called all the hospitals. And then by the time I got done, he was still sitting in his car, and I'm looking from my window, because if you look from my window, you can see the street. So I'm looking from my window, and like 5 other cop cars pull up. So then I'm thinking in my head, like, why is 5 other cop cars coming?
I thought you were going to get arrested.
I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not even going to worry about it. So I see him go over. All the cops got out their cars and went over to the police that came up to talk to me. And they was all like in a group, like huddled up, like talking. One of them pulled out their cell phones, got on the cell phone. I don't know what was said because I wasn't out there. And then he was talking and he put his cell phone back. And then they started talking amongst each other. And then I seen them gather up and like walk over to the house. But I met them at the door. He was like, hello, how you doing? I was like, hello. He was like, can you step outside for me? And I just started looking around like, yeah, okay. So I stepped outside. He asked me my full name. I was like, my name is Maynard. And he asked me my birthday. I gave him my birthday. And then he was like, can you have a seat for me right here? my heart started pounding. I'm like, yeah, okay. So I sat down, and he was like, well, we found your sister and somebody's residence deceased. So then I'm like, I started crying and stuff and trying to hold it together. And he gave us the examiner and Detective Raleigh number. And that's all they told us. They told her that she was already at the examiner's, she was already at the examiner place, and that was it.
Just real quickly, they didn't give you all any information on like where she was at or what this guy's name was or anything like that?
No.
We found all that out after they did the missing person report and went up to the police station. Then we got all the information.
No, we still didn't get that information. They didn't tell us where she was found.
Not as far as like doing the whole report and how we're gonna get it.
Mm-hmm.
Probable cause.
Like, not probable cause. I'm talking about as far as getting the report from the detective, we kept getting pushed back to Detective Riley. We didn't get any information, but they did tell us that, okay, he's looking into it, you have to talk to him. And then we went up to the police station after that, downtown, they said the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, we didn't get the information. They just kept pointing us back to that.
Yeah, they never gave us, they said they can't give us none of the information because the case was still open, and the reason why, that's the reason why they weren't able to give us that information. But the only information they was able to give us was she was deceased in his bed, and when he checked to see if she was alive, and she didn't have no pulse, and he started doing CPR on her.
We don't understand they couldn't give us information if they already ruled it as natural cause. That's what he told us over the phone. They already ruled it as a natural cause death because she woke up next to him stiff, supposedly. But then kept finding out more stuff as it got exposed to the media.
So they ruled it a natural cause before they did like any investigation.
Exactly.
Before they did any toxicology, any
Exactly.
autopsy, anything.
Exactly.
That's what Detective Riley told us.
He's like, because they didn't see any foul play on the scene. They didn't see any foul play, so they ruled it as a natural death.
Mm-hmm. And then once we got to social media, and we got two well-known people on the platform of Facebook and TikTok do a video on it.
And that's when they said the case was, there was no further investigation on the case also.
So they just said they're not going to do any investigation until it started getting attention and stuff.
Exactly. Once I posted his picture, the detective was like, well, how did you get his picture? And I'm like, because my sister, before she died, sent us the picture. This is who I'm with, So that's even how we even got as far as we got. Because if we didn't have the picture, it would have, been a little bit harder than what it is. But we didn't have his right name. His name is not even Elijah. He's not from Florida. This is all the stuff that he told my sister. He's from Florida. His name is Elijah. He's 24. But my thing is, if this was like, no causing no harm to nobody, or you didn't have no ill intent, why would you lie about your name, where you from, how old you are? Who does that? Especially if you didn't have no ill intentions behind you trying to date her or whatever.
We didn't get his name until after local people commented on the post and exposed them.
And then this is my question. I'm sorry, I didn't want to be in it because I didn't want to be on camera. But if they're working the case to figure out Agent's death, why would they be even questioning where they got the picture from? Why is that the intent? It sounds to me like y'all are more worried about covering up her death than working the case to figure out if it was foul play.
Exactly.
Like, it sounds weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Detective Riley just
But there wasn't any foul play, but now all of a sudden he's saying something about drugs and different stuff. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of people paramount to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And that is and it's not the first death.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had
Yeah, my bad. I'm trying to get comfortable.
From Narcan.
So,
So I'm sure
this is a long video.
social media came and gave us all this information, I'm pretty sure KCP had this
Exactly.
information.
And I'm pretty sure they could have got more
Why they
information.
covering up?
Exactly.
And a friend of his just died like this less than a year ago, last May. And you can Google his name. The only thing that's found on his name is the obituary. Nothing about his death or anything. So,
And then his cousin of the gentleman that was involved, or whoever he was, his cousin the one that gave up the rest of the information, went to the police station and told them that he does this, he's been doing this for this long.
And then his old roommate also went to the police station, and she's been contacting KCPD. She's been contacting news outlets. That's how they were able to get on Fox 4. She's brought this to KC, and she was the roommate of him and one of the people that he killed. So she has a lot more information, and she's been trying to give it to KCPD, but it's like they're not trying to listen.
just gonna ask if you guys have the names of the specific officers, like Detective Riley, you guys keep saying, and the other ones that showed up to the house.
I don't recall the gentleman's name that showed up to the house.
The name should be on the report if we get it.
We don't have the report though. We can't get the report until they said we can't get the report until the case is closed. We can't get nothing where he was found or his name. The only, like I said, the only way we found out his name, Elijah Crown, James Crown. That's the only way we knew his name, because people start reaching out to us and saying, hey, you know, this is Isaiah. Hey, this is, this has happened to my friend, or my husband died because Isaiah then gave them, so that.
The officer said that there was no, and then the officer said there was no foul play, but, there was blood, in her glasses, there was blood on her eye, there was blood on her ear. She didn't have any shoes, she didn't have her sweater, her stuff was in the car, but there was no foul play. That's suspect.
My sister wouldn't go out, especially while it's cold.
Shoes or socks. No cold.
She gonna grab her shit even if she's drunk.
So.
He's supposed to be a suspect once he got his car towed.
Yeah.
Automatically. No matter if he was suspicious.
Another
about
question
anything.
is, why hasn't he been picked up?
Exactly.
If the case is open, even normally if a case is open, that person is 24-hour hold was done.
Right.
No person
question.
No person of interest.
No bond, no
warrant, no
nothing, but she was found dead in your bed.
It's not the first time.
You can't say no foul play from what a person looks like.
Or what they say.
So
Foul play is any shape or form. For one, he's from Independence, and his family, one of his family members is a cop from Independence, so they're gonna really cover it up. Trying to cover it up.
I really don't know if it happened in Independence, because if it happened in Independence, that's what a Kansas City cop.
In the same jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Right. And like I said, the only reason why we found out my sister was deceased is because I did a missing person report. They never even reached out to me or none of my family. And Detective Raleigh, his excuse was we didn't have no updated information on Asia to get in contact with you guys. And I'm like, well, she has a temp tag. Don't the temp tag got some type of form of contact? Even if you go through her car, where she got her car from, you could have called them and be like, hey, we have Agent Maynard car down here. Do you got a emergency contact on? So I feel like that was.
If they claim that they went to her house, and they asked around the neighbors and stuff, right? So you didn't think to go to the office to where she lives, like the apartment, because she's the emergency contact on it, and you would have had emergency. I feel like that was even a lie, that they went to her house and the neighbors told them that they saw her. I feel like that's a lie.
Yeah.
I don't even feel like they did that.
Even if they ran her tag, Miss Pandora Davis, our grandma, is on the paperwork, so y'all could have pulled that up and called her.
But that was their excuse of why they didn't contact us.
No, they just didn't do their damn job at all.
My next question, because you had mentioned that his cousin, I think you said, was a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
So the question was just like, why do you think that they haven't like made a statement about this or tries to like cover up? Do you think it's family ties? Do you think it's just like blatant racism? Like
both. Yeah, I believe it's racism and he has family ties. Cause like I said, people reached out and said that
He has family that works.
he has family that works in the police department. He has lots of money. His family has lots of money. So
We also have messages saying that he knew these pills was laced.
mm-hmm.
And he said that he didn't want to waste $200. That's why
Exactly.
he keeps selling these pills to people.
Mm-hmm.
So, first and foremost, we need to tell people to not buy pills from him.
Right.
Because Asia's life was taken, his roommate's life was taken. They're not only failing Asia and his roommate Louise, but they're failing Kansas City because this one boy is responsible for multiple deaths, and bodies are going to continue to drop as long as he's giving this late fentanyl to people.
and just on that alone, half of them haven't been arrested.
Just on that alone.
It's been more cases than just that. Even a 14-year-old girl was found.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Found dead over this.
Yeah. Since we're on like just the police topic, so my question is, what do you want from police? Like, what do you want? I know you guys want a thorough investigation.
Communication.
Yeah.
We pay tax dollars.
Mm-hmm.
How do we pay tax dollars and we're citizens and we can't even get communication, even if it is an open investigation?
Mm-hmm.
You still should be communicating with the family.
Exactly.
If we was white, you would be communicating with the family.
Right.
Keep them informed.
Exactly. It's no
Yeah.
trust within the black community and police officers because they don't work for us, regardless of what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Or the color they skin behind the badge. They
Mm-hmm.
still work for the badge.
But I feel like even black officers too, you know, they can't be for us.
Nah, because they look good.
Because if they was for us, they would be speaking out on it also.
Yeah.
So I feel like they have their own pact within their department and it's not for citizens. What is the police for?
Right.
The next question. Next question is just, what does justice for Asia look like to you?
Yeah.
He needs to be behind bars. This is just justice for it's justice for Asia because we want justice for Asia,
Right.
but it's justice for our community also.
Exactly.
You know, it's beyond Asia and it's kind of beyond race too because white people have died because.
Mm-hmm.
So it's justice for us. It's
Yeah.
justice for Kansas City.
I want the cops' badge. I want all their badges because they did not do their job at all.
Yeah, they need to.
I'm tired of cops getting off on not doing their job and just keep.
And then, like, I just feel like he's, like, Detective Raleigh is, I feel like he's really for the other guy because he's speaking to us, talking about, well, we hearing that he's getting harassed and death threats, and I'm like, look, my sister's not alive. I'm not worried about what he's getting or what he's going through because you don't know, you can't even fathom what I'm going through.
So his life
what
matters, but hers don't.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Make it make sense.
So
He's at this point, he's a murderer. He's literally a serial killer. He knows he has laced fentanyl. He's giving it to people, and he doesn't care.
Mm-hmm. No,
You are literally a serial killer. No, we don't care about you being harassed. We don't care about death threats. We don't care about anything that has nothing to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you was in jail, you would be safe. Maybe.
And even for the cop to try to target and make it seem like it's the family that's doing it when he's done this to other people, like how do you know it's not the other people that are sick and tired of it?
Exactly.
I don't know what just happened with this light
Right.
You know.
So now
on my
he was able
phone.
to get a,
So I hope this is still showing good enough for y'all to see.
charges against us.
What? And how?
Yeah.
What was this?
This is recently. Yeah.
Wow. So you filed charges against the family?
He
and
found
not
charges against
the killer?
Yeah.
And they allowed it, so that's just not the police department, that's the system itself. Because if you're allowed to file a complaint against the family that you caused a death in, that goes beyond the police department.
And where's the proof of the harassment, though?
Because we're not the ones inboxing.
Exactly.
We've not had any communication with the man. Other people have been inboxed. But that's harassment charges that should be filed against those people.
Right.
We are entitled to leak a picture of a person who she was found dead with.
Exactly.
That's no harassment there.
Mm-hmm.
That's awareness.
Yeah.
But where's your murder charges?
Just possession.
The possession of drugs.
Something.
Like, you have multiple people, multiple messages. No detective has reached out to us and said, hey, can I get the evidence?
Right.
Can I get screenshots of the messages of people saying this person died and this person died and this thing linked to this. No detective has reached out and tried to get even a confession from him saying that he knows the pills is laced. No detective has tried to get reached out, but y'all have time to file harassment charges against the family?
Real family.
Yeah.
They could get more evidence because all the evidence in her car, her phone.
I mean, not even just that, but message. You have literally messages, people stepping forward. These are thousands of witnesses.
Yep.
No, I
Been
mean,
a
I'm
lot of
talking about
people.
the text message between her and
him.
him that'll tie him
That
completely
too.
to this.
Yeah, that too. But you know what was said though, like, another lady had reached out to me and said that she was inboxing him and he gave her the whole story. Like, she came over here with her own drugs and I told her to slow down, but she didn't want to listen to me. And
Go that way.
she didn't want to listen, and I told her to slow down, and she said she wasn't feeling good, and she laid down, and then I woke up and I checked if she was still alive. But why would you check and see if she's still
First of all,
alive?
if she said she wasn't feeling good, that's when you call 911 then and there.
Right.
You let her lay down.
Like, a person does drugs, they don't feel good. Common sense will tell you 911. Not to let them go to sleep. You didn't wake up and say, let me check on her.
If that's supposedly what happened.
Right.
If that's really what happened.
Right. But like I said, when I talked to detectives, they said there was no drugs on the scene. But then again, he said that the detective found the drugs in her bag, and they took the drugs out of her bag.
And the bag was in her car.
In a bag, but all her belongings was in her car. So I don't understand how.
See, that don't make sense because if you fall asleep and you wake up next to somebody stiff, how in the hell are you gonna be able to put your bag,
In the
purse,
car.
your jacket, and your keys in a car with your drugs? How's that possible?
First of all, nobody leaves their keys in their car, period.
Exactly.
No.
Doesn't make no sense.
And her phone either.
He did that. He put all that in the car, and the detective is covering up for him. I feel like because they cannot communicate to us.
Exactly.
I didn't
And
answer
not even
today.
just that, even if, seeing as that it don't make sense to the family, common sense will tell you this officer, he knows that it don't make, your job is to investigate.
Right.
So if it don't make sense to us, I'm pretty sure it don't
No, it
make
makes sense to you. Exactly. And then, like I said, I'm trying to figure out where's her shoes and her socks. Like, where's all her belongings at? She didn't come over your house with no shoes and socks on. Like, where's all her stuff? Where's her coat? They said everything was in her car. Why is all her coat, her keys, her purse, everything that belongs to her, why is it in her car?
If there wasn't a foul play.
Right.
We didn't get to do it until she went to the funeral home.
Exactly.
Dropped it, y'all.
Yeah.
Already did not do the autopsy? Yeah.
They had already did the autopsy. They was ready. Sunday morning, or when I called, like that's like when I first found out she had passed. She was already cleared and ready for the funeral home to pick her up.
So they did this without the family's knowledge.
Yeah. So they said they did all this Saturday. And
By the mother.
Unless it was suspected foul play, which
Exactly.
contradicts
Right.
what it said, natural
Exactly.
causes. If she died of natural causes,
Why would
you have to
you
have permission.
Right.
She died of foul play, case
Then
does not have to have a permission to do it. have done.
Exactly.
So he did that.
So that means you also lied to the family, and it wasn't natural causes, which you lied anyway, because an autopsy takes a month to come back. Yeah. So how could you give a family, first off, a cause of death when that's not your job?
Right. And I thought that was the examiner's job.
So you should have been giving the family a cause of death. Period. Let alone you give them a cause of death a few days after, before it comes back. You don't say, hey, contact this person for information or none of that. You all the way out of your job scope.
And then they hadn't even done the toxicology report because police hadn't called for them to do the toxicology report.
I'm gonna call you later.
Okay.
You're welcome. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye.
Yeah.
It's great.
Okay. So my next question was, what can people do, just like people who read this article, who watch this video, what can people do to support y'all for just the future? What do y'all want from people?
If they have any information, if they know anything, to reach
Broadcast
out.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, broadcast
Cops,
it.
tell the family, reach out to the family. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what needs to be done.
I mean, they could give me his location, but they're not gonna do that.
I'm finna put some money up for the reward too.
A reward. It's in
Turn
turn to
to
see
me.
this person turn him in.
20 grand for right now.
Definitely.
I just want a picture of it.
You already got a picture.
No. I want somebody to take a picture and send it to me. You get 20 grand. That's your rent, hair, nail, all that. Nah, let me stop.
How do you guys want us, just anyone who sees this or reads the article, to remember your sister? How do you want us to remember?
She was a loving person, family oriented.
Very forgiving.
She's very forgiving. Very forgiving.
She has a unique energy.
Big heart.
Can make some good ass wings.
Yeah.
She can cook really good too.
Very loyal to her family too.
Yeah.
Very loyal to her family.
That salmon, I still didn't get that recipe, but I'm figuring it out. Yeah, she burnt.
Would it help for people to do like a GoFundMe or anything for a funeral cost or anything like that?
No, Aisha actually, she was actually smart, and she took care of that part before anything.
Yeah, that's a shock.
She actually covered
Everything.
She covered
everything.
So she all that's taken care of.
Now for her children, yeah, that would be nice to have a GoFundMe to keep them taken care of, because the family need a lot of help. She has an infant that's still coming up, and she has a daughter that's probably.
She has 4 kids, so we have to, like a family, take care of them. So
that would be nice.
This is probably my last question, but there have been many instances of this very same situation in other places and just in general. So what do you have to say to people who have been impacted by this situation?
Keep your head above water. Try not to be vengeful, because it's going to take you to a dark place that you don't want to be. And just don't do nothing that's going to get you in the same predicament that happened to your sister.
And pay attention to your loved ones.
And always stay in contact with your loved ones to make sure they know where you're at.
exactly. Or if you're going on dates, make sure y'all send the location in the picture.
Yeah.
You know, you have to stay safe at all costs, because you can never put your defense down when you're out dating people. You know.
Can't get too close.
So.
Especially with somebody new that you never met before.
It's,
That with that
I don't
day.
know what's
and
going
some people's
on,
intentions are not
y'all.
good, so you always gotta stay on your P's and Q's.
I'm gonna end this, y'all, because I don't know what's all going on with this phone. It's about to go off anyway because it was 30 minutes long. Let's see.